Hello and thank you for watching. My name is Brian Lebo, Realtor and Principal of the Lebo Group. Now, today I wanted to talk to you about a fascinating development that personally I never thought I would really see come to fruition. Now, I always kid around about principal balance reductions being like the unicorn on the other side of the rainbow. There's stories about them, but of course no one has ever seen one personally. Well, I'm here to say that I have personally seen a unicorn. So, if you remember from my previous update video where I met with the Attorney General, I stated that the climate was changing. Well, as I had mentioned in that video, 5 major banks, which include GMAC, BofA, Citi, Chase, and Wells Fargo, as part of their federal settlement to have to spend $17 billion on principal balance reductions, BofA alone committed themselves to $11 billion. It's not debatable, they are legally compelled to essentially blow this money on principal reductions. Obviously, this is what everyone has been asking for since the beginning of this whole mess. Now, I don't have much information regarding the other 4 banks, but I have been personally involved in 2 cases with BofA and subsequently received a wealth of information as a result. So here's the real deal. First off, if BofA is servicing your loan, but it's actually owned by Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, essentially it's just tough luck. I mean, last Tuesday, July 31st, the head of FHFA, which is the Federal Housing Finance Agency, who regulates and oversees Fannie and Freddie, came out and vehemently stated that he disagreed with principal balance reductions. So, for right now, I have to say again, if your loan is owned by Fannie or Freddie, it doesn't look like you have any chance in the world right now at getting a principal balance reduction. If you don't know who owns your mortgage note, please contact me directly and I can find out for you. So back to BofA. So since BofA has to blow billions of dollars, and certainly they aren't fools in the conventional sense of the term, BofA proactively decided to target their high-risk mortgages that are in default. Now, you'll never get a straight answer on this, but from what I can gather, these are homes that are well above the average loan amount, and in both specific cases have first mortgages that are well above the conventional limit, which in Nevada is $417,000. My interpretation is that BofA is targeting their upper-end homes, which are more costly to dispose of, since typically those borrowers actively occupy the homes, drag out the process by hiring attorneys and or filing for bankruptcy, and ultimately are actually good borrowers worth retaining for them. So starting a few months ago, BofA started soliciting these borrowers by directly stating that they qualified for principal balance reductions. I have to imagine that many people simply discarded the paperwork since it seems just too good to be true, especially considering how difficult it is for people to get anything done with the banks in general. But in actuality, the borrower can either fill out the requested paperwork or meet in person with an actual trained counselor at one of the many customer assistance centers that BofA has established to specifically work out these situations face to face. Now, once a borrower expresses a desire to enter the program, BofA sends out like a teaser letter, such as the one I'm going to put up on the screen like right now. It illustrates to the buyer what kind of possibility that BofA is willing to offer should the borrower be accepted into the program. As you can see from this example, the current first mortgage was $504,000 with a $64,000 in late payments and fees. So BofA's total came to $568,000. In this example, BofA is potentially offering to reduce the principal balance down to $336,000. Now, ironically, as much as I loathe the automated values on Zillow, when I looked up the actual property, Zillow showed a value of $336,059. So who knows how BofA derived that valuation, but suffice to say that they were offering to reduce this property right down to its current value. So ultimately, BofA was offering to initially waive off $232,000 of principal. Additionally, the payment was to go from $2,850 down to $1,750. So from the surface, this seems as though it's a dream come true. I mean, talk about a pot of gold. I'd be looking over my shoulder for a leprechaun or something. But here's where the process gets interesting. Okay, this is only a savings example, as BofA calls it. Now, BofA doesn't even ask anymore about a hardship letter or anything like that. They seem to realize that regardless of a realized or fabricated hardship, the borrower isn't going to pay up either way. So the borrower needs to submit all of their financial information either via mail or to their assigned counselor directly. The good news is that it seems as though BofA is moving lightning quick with the underwriting process. So typically borrowers will hear back within 1 month of submission as to their actual results. Essentially, the underwriters at BofA are pulling the borrower's credit and analyzing the financials. If the borrower makes too little or substantially too much, they may be denied. However, according to my inside contacts at BofA, about 65% of applicants are being accepted. If the applicant is accepted, then here's what BofA does. They notify the borrower as to how much they are willing to reduce their principal balance to, and remember, it doesn't necessarily mean that they will reduce it to the same exact amount that they offered in that savings example. And then they provide the borrower with a new amended mortgage payment amount. So here's the catch though. Once BofA approves the borrower for a reduced payment and principal, the borrower needs to make 3 trial payments before BofA will permanently change the note. Additionally, prior to making the 3 payments, the borrower is not informed as to the terms of the modified loan. So although the payment may be generous, it could easily be a higher percentage rate amortized over, say, 40 years. The only way to ascertain the actual loan terms is to make the 3 trial payments on time. Now, considering the program is so new, we haven't been able to see what the actual loan terms are. My questions are this: what's the actual rate? How long is the term for? Is there a limit to how quickly the borrower can refinance or sell the property overall? If so, what restrictions are there on that? As they say, the devil's in the details. My initial instinct was to figure out how BofA was trying to screw people and what their angle was, but when I thought about it, I really saw no reason for BofA to maliciously withhold the terms. I mean, the obvious part is that they get 3 mortgage payments out of the borrower. But in reality, by accepting even 1 payment, they have to now wait 90 more days to even initiate a notice of default. So I really have no idea why BofA feels the need to withhold the modification terms. But now, last of all, I was able to speak with my contacts at BofA to get some kind of barometer for how these are actually working out. Now, I told you earlier that 65% of applicants are accepted. Well, of those 65%, only half are actually taking the deal. So best case scenario, 32% of these selected borrowers are going to see relief. Realistically, depending on how BofA handles the loan terms, and of course you'll have your handful of borrowers that run delinquent again during their trial period, I would imagine the final number to be more like 25%. What is cool, however, is that should the borrower decide to reject the offer BofA has presented them, they can instantly opt into BofA's pre-approved short sale program, which pays them a relocation assistance amount of $3,000 to $30,000. You get to pick the realtor, it costs you nothing. In fact, you get paid to walk away, and they will even waive the deficiency judgment. It's streamlined and fantastic for all parties involved. Now, in the forthcoming months, I'll be sure to let you guys know how this turns out with BofA, what kind of terms they're offering borrowers after their 90-day trial period, and what kind of progress the other banks begin making towards spending their share of the $6 billion that's left over. If your mortgage is with Bank of America and you have not received any such solicitation from them, please contact me directly, and I'll be sure to help find you a solution to your negative equity situation. As always, thank you again for watching, and please don't hesitate to contact me directly with any questions or concerns you have regarding real estate.